Being the 12th overall pick in the 2020 draft, Henry Ruggs is looking to show out for the Raiders in their first year in Las Vegas. With such a talented draft class, Ruggs looks to set himself apart from the rest with his dynamic athleticism that he showed off in his years playing for the Crimson Tide. Before we get started today, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. With that being said, here are 10 things you might not know about Henry Ruggs. Number 10 on the list, athletic family. Being the most athletic in the Ruggs family is some tough competition. Henry's brother Kevonte is a talented football player as well. Coming out of the same high school, Kevonte was a 3-star linebacker who started 3 games for Ole Miss in 2018 as a true freshman. Kevonte would go on to transfer to East Mississippi Community College for a year, but Henry was able to convince Alabama to give his brother a tentative scholarship opportunity. But after Henry declared for the 20 NFL draft, the scholarship opportunity never worked out. Nevertheless, Kevonte is back in the hunt to play college football for a Division I school. Henry and Kevonte's mother, Nataki, is also an impressive athlete who was a track star back in high school. Nataki claims she ran the 40 in 4.23 seconds. But Henry says he has his doubts, saying, "If you ask me, she never ran that time. I knew she was pretty fast. She used to run in the neighborhood, run against guys all the time and beat them. But ultimately, she'll tell you that she's not faster than me. Maybe in her prime she felt like it, but no." Number 9, fastest in the draft. While his family is surely athletic, nobody comes close to having Henry's speed. Not even his fellow 2020 draft competitors, as Ruggs blew them all out of the water in the draft combine. Ruggs ran the fastest 40-yard dash at the combine, clocking in at 4.27 seconds, 0.08 seconds faster than the next fastest time. That kind of speed is what has teams looking so highly on Ruggs, and why he was consistently a deep threat. Ruggs knows how fast he is too, saying he's confident that he can outrun Kansas City Chief Tyreek Hill, who has emphasized the importance of speed in his role with the Chiefs' Super Bowl run last year. Number 8, track career. Ruggs' speed, it didn't come out of nowhere. In fact, throughout his time in high school, Ruggs would probably consider himself more as a track star than a football star. While he had played some football in junior high, Ruggs didn't play in high school until his junior year. In the meantime, he was smashing records at track meets. With a 10.58-second 100-meter dash, Ruggs ended up breaking the record for the Alabama High School Athletic Association's Class 7A. It was only fitting that it translated over to the field, and after being encouraged by his late friend to play football, Ruggs hasn't looked back. Number 7, homegrown player. Being so close to his family in his hometown, Ruggs wanted the best possible option for his college career in the closest possible venue. Ruggs grew up in Montgomery, Alabama, so when it was time to be recruited, he decided to stay in-state. With that being said, Ruggs still had some anxiety leaving Montgomery at all. In an article in the Players Tribune, Ruggs writes, "It's never easy to leave home. There's always anxiety. Your comfort zone disappears. Everything can seem so uncertain." While being away from his hometown was rough for Ruggs, he said the atmosphere of the school and the football team began to comfort him in a time of uncertainty, especially after people had come to learn of Ruggs' best friend passing away a year prior. People began to take care of me in a ton of little and big ways that probably seemed like nothing much to them, but that were a huge deal to me. Before long, Ruggs was finally able to be comfortable away from home, and by the end of his journey with Bama, he had found a second place to call home. Number 6, getting on the Bama record boards. While Alabama was unfortunate enough to lose their star quarterback Tua Tagovailoa last season, they did have the good fortune of having 2 incredible receivers in Ruggs and Jerry Jeudy. Ruggs' first-round selection is backed up by his monster numbers for the Crimson Tide. He only dropped 1 pass in his senior year and only had 4 in his career, giving him a 93% catch rate, which was second best in the draft class. Ruggs also caught 98 passes for 1,716 yards and 24 touchdowns over his 3 seasons with the team. His 24 career touchdowns places him 3rd all-time in school history, right behind Jeudy and Amari Cooper, but ahead of Bama and NFL stars like Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, and Hall of Famer Ozzie Newsome. However, it's Ruggs' speed that once again lands him in the record books, as he ran 23.27 miles per hour on a screenplay, going 84 yards for the touchdown in a school record. Number 5, human highlight reel. Ruggs doesn't only show his athletic abilities on the field and on the track either. Anyone who's seen him on the basketball court knows he's a high-flying, dunking machine. Ruggs played basketball in high school, of course, and he was actually pretty good. But it's his dunking ability that has everyone in awe. Standing at only 5'11", Ruggs is able to showcase his crazy vertical on the court. He even has a highlight reel out there showing some of his nasty windmills, catching half-court lobs, and posterizing entire teams. It's a highlight tape more entertaining than some prospects entering the NBA this year. With that kind of athleticism showcased on the court, it's no wonder that Ruggs is terrifying defenders on the field as well. But seriously, you have to check out his highlight reel on YouTube. You won't regret it. Number 4, charity work. Ruggs makes sure that with his newfound success that he is helping out the community as much as he can. Not long after being drafted by the Raiders, Ruggs was making his local communities proud by launching his own limited edition HR3 t-shirts, partnering the release with the 3 Square, which is a service network consisting of more than 1,400 community partners to reach struggling individuals and families who are at risk for hunger and food insecurity. In doing so, 3 meals will be provided to families in southern Nevada for every purchase of the t-shirt. Along with providing meals for people in his new home, a percentage of the proceeds also go toward the Red Scott Foundation in Montgomery, which works on helping students prepare for the ACT, along with tutoring and mentoring programs in order to get into and excel in college. While it's not the reason he's doing it, Ruggs is on track to win the Walter Payton Man of the Year award someday, which rewards players for their off-the-field excellence. Number 3, the death of his friend. During his first few years in high school, Ruggs wasn't even thinking about football, but inspired by the advice of his best friend Roderick Scott, Ruggs started playing football again. Unfortunately, only at 17 years old, Scott tragically died in a car accident, leaving a huge absence in Ruggs' life. However, Ruggs didn't let that absence of his friend get the best of him, and he's been using his memory and encouragement as fuel. After all, it was Scott who had gotten him back into football. Scott even told Ruggs that he was going to become an amazing player and that he would go to play for Bama. Ruggs even mentions that as one of the leading factors in committing to Alabama. In his Players Tribune article, Ruggs wrote, "Everything my best friend saw happening for me has come to pass. It's pretty crazy. And just knowing that he saw these things in me and that he would never let me settle, that has honestly carried me to everything I've accomplished. There was no way I was going to let Rod down." Now, Ruggs makes sure to hold up 3 fingers every time he scores a touchdown to honor his friend who wore number 3 on the field. Number 2, signing day moment. Come signing day, Ruggs was ranked 166th on the ESPN 300, 23rd best receiver in the 2017 recruiting class, and had one of the biggest decisions of his life in front of him. Given the choice between Bama, the Florida Gators, and Florida State, Ruggs decided to make the moment special instead of the typical 3 hats on the table. In another tribute to his late friend and confidant Rod Scott, Ruggs sat at a table with 2 hats in front of him, and a video played to honor Scott. As the video came to an end, an Alabama hat was sitting on top of Scott's grave, and Ruggs walked over and put the hat on. Ruggs went on to say that Scott was the first person he felt comfortable discussing his recruitment with, and Scott had told him it was the right choice. Even though his friend wasn't around anymore, Ruggs knew that he would be proud of him and what he had accomplished. And number 1 on this list of things you might not know about Henry Ruggs. A new addition to the Ruggs family. Now, things seem to be going the right way for Ruggs. In the last year, he was drafted in the first round of the NFL draft and announced the birth of his very first child. In June of this year, Ruggs announced that his daughter, Kensley Renee Ruggs, was born a month prior. Kensley was born 5 weeks ahead of her due date, but was apparently born without complications and is healthy and happy. Ruggs took to Instagram with pictures of his new child, and it appears he's already gotten her a Raiders pacifier, creating a fan in his daughter from day one. So, that is our list. Henry Ruggs is looking to be a talented prospect and a successful NFL player, and the Raiders fans should be looking forward to a promising car-to-Ruggs connection in a new home. Did we miss anything? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. But above all else, have a fantastic day.